Good morning, everybody. I kind of want to touch briefly on insomnia. I know a lot of people have been experiencing insomnia, especially with this COVID pandemic. The research has shown that it's increased a lot. Our world's changed. And with the world changing, anxiety and worry has been elevated as well as a loss of routine in our life. So when we tend to lose routine in our world, this can affect our circadian rhythm, so the part that we need for sleep. The COVID has also shown to kind of increase depression as well. So with increased anxiety and depression, it's no wonder that our sleep is out of whack right now. This is due a lot to the stress hormones that we're releasing, and on top of that, most of us are increasing our screen time. So when we increase our screen time, that overstimulates our brain. So let's go back up a little bit. With what is insomnia? Insomnia basically means that we have difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up multiple times throughout the night. To be actually diagnosed with insomnia from the DSM-5 by a medical provider or mental health provider, you have to experience difficulty with these sleep patterns for at least a month, and they have to be occurring at least 3 times during that week. It has to cause some kind of fatigue or distress or impairment in your life. So it pretty much is a pain to deal with. There's different kinds of insomnia, right? So you have the part where you can't fall asleep. So you have a difficult time, initiating your sleep patterns, and stress can make this super, super hard. So when you have sleep onset insomnia, that's the beginning pieces. Now, stress and anxiety can also make you wake up more because your mind's not turning off. So this is you waking up in the middle of the night constantly, and then you have trouble falling back asleep. So this is called middle insomnia or sleep maintenance insomnia. Now, if you have terminal insomnia, this happens when you wake up before you really want to, and then you can't fall back asleep at all. So they've said that this is kind of a sign of depression. Now, if you have been diagnosed with PTSD, yes, this is also going to make you have a difficult time with sleep. Why? Because it's considered a hyperarousal symptom of PTSD. What that means is that the mind is constantly on alert, right? And they're on guard, and you're tense, and you're edgy. This is difficult for the brain to kind of process, because now when you're hypersensitive and you're constantly aware, it's not shutting down. And we need sleep to reset our systems, mind, and our entire body. With a hyperarousal state with PTSD, individuals tend to feel like it's a loss of control. They cannot control what's going on because they're asleep. And so that makes them hypervigilant and hyper aware of everything, super sensitive to any noises. That's why they're pop awake. Well, with our stress hormones that are keeping us awake, it's flooding our body. We are being flooded, and it's making a lot of people wake up around 1, 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the morning, and they don't know what to do with it. Now, when stress hormones are released in the body, it runs down our sugar levels. So we need sugar to create energy in our body, and this energy breaks down the things inside of us while we're sleeping. So all of our functions are doing work while we rest. With sugar levels low, that means we don't have enough glycogen. Glycogen is a form of energy that our body makes, right? And so our liver needs to regenerate, and when we don't have it, our body starts producing adrenaline. So now we're not sleeping because adrenaline is pumping, and bam, we wake up. And we can't fall back asleep, right? Now, when adrenaline's pumping in our body, and anxious thoughts are in there as well, man, the mind starts triggering, and this is a no bueno situation for you and for anybody. Why? Because it starts to activate what's called the sympathetic nervous system. Now, what our sympathetic nervous system does is fight or flight. I know you've probably heard about it. I'll talk about it on a different video more in depth. But when our body goes into the fight or flight response, the brain switches from sleep mode to wake mode. I'm awake. There's no sleeping now, you've activated me. Researchers, doctors, mental health professionals have all reported different things to try to kind of help you go back to sleep. But mainly, create a routine, right? Create a routine and a schedule where you wind down at the end of the night and make it consistent. With that, they say that if you are waking up in the middle of the night and you're tossing and turning, if you've tossed and turned for over 20 minutes, get out of bed. Why get out of bed? Because our mind is super awesome and flexible, and it starts to create memories and core behavior patterns. When this occurs, what it does is that it associates our bed with wakefulness. So that can mean now it's associating anxiety, worrying, stressing, and planning instead of sleep. Yeah. And you want to break this association. So don't stay in bed. Don't get on your phones, don't get on your computers, and don't turn on the TV, because those also activate our minds to wake up. We don't want to do that. We want to go back to sleep. So what they've suggested is try something relaxing. Get out of bed, but don't turn the lights bright. Have low light. Practice deep breathing, meditation. Read something super boring to kind of bring you down. But basically, the suggestions all say the same exact thing. Slow your mind down and let it rest. Because if you're activating it, you're continuing to associate with wakefulness, and that's going to re-trigger your anxiety, your depression, and all the adrenaline pumping in your body. So try to eat healthy. That'll help your gut health, mind health, energy fuels. And I know a lot of us have been drinking during the pandemic, but believe it or not, that's affecting sleep too. So if this is something that you're going to as a coping skill, try to stop a few hours before bedtime. It gives your liver enough time to process, and it's not dumping stress hormones, it's not dumping adrenaline, and you do have glycogen in you so you can stay asleep throughout the night. It's not a fix-all situation. It takes a lot of practice and a lot more things, but hopefully more of us out there can get some sleep during these crazy times. All right, have a great day.